Hey everyone, Derek here with a quick news update on Fire Emblem Warriors. A new issue of Famitsu has come out with a new article about the game, finally detailing more about it since we really don't know all that much other than that initial trailer. And Gematsu.com has a pretty nice summary of everything that's been revealed within this article, so let's break it down. So first up, we have two brand new characters, and they're going to be the original protagonists, and they take the form of twins, Xion and Leon, and this isn't too surprising. They've done the same thing with Fire Emblem Heroes, they did the same thing with Hyrule Warriors where they created new characters for that game, and it just sort of fits into the plot for whatever's going on. Additionally, they confirmed that Marth from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, as well as Chrom, who we saw in the initial trailer, are confirmed as playable characters. Other details include the fact that the Fire Emblem series' mainstay weapon triangle and class systems do exist in Fire Emblem Warriors. However, there seems to be a bit of a translation error as they mention it's sufficient to attack an archer with a Pegasus Knight. So I have to assume that those roles are actually switched, so if you're an archer and you attack a Pegasus Knight, you'll do more damage. At least I hope that's the idea. In addition, Intelligent Systems is supervising on things such as character settings, and there will be a huge, fully voiced script for the game. However, and I know this is going to be disappointing to a lot of you, the characters that appear are generally from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, and Fire Emblem Awakening, as well as Fire Emblem Fates. This won't be a gathering of protagonists from across the series. The reason they gave for not including protagonists from across the series is because if they did that, everyone would be using a sword. Now, I'd argue that you just pull characters that aren't using swords from across those other games and sort of mix it up, but maybe we'll get a sequel that'll do that instead. But for now, it looks like we're going to be focusing on those three Fire Emblem games, which I know is a big disappointment for some, especially myself, because there are a ton of great characters across the entire series that I'd love to see actually used. However, there are going to be bond conversations with characters from across these different titles, even though there's no marriage, nor is there any kind of love as a result of becoming good friends. There are two more original characters as well, though we don't really know anything about them, whether they're allies or enemies. These include Darius and Yuana. However, the game is pretty far along as development is currently 70% complete, and the project was even in planning before Famitsu's collaboration Musou title survey, in which a Fire Emblem Musou game was very highly rated. I can't remember if it was number 1, but it was definitely in the top 3 or 5. Their goal with the game is to do a Musou game that Fire Emblem fans would enjoy, and the weapon triangle, high strategy elements, and classes that are mainstay in the Fire Emblem series are in. Another cool detail, and one that'll be very useful considering the strategy element, is that you can switch characters while playing, so you'll be able to control various weapons and classes of characters. And the number of playable characters is more than the first entry of any other Musou series collaboration. For comparison, Hyrule Warriors had 13 playable characters initially. Now obviously a lot more was added in thanks to DLC, but we can definitely look for more than 13 playable characters in here. I don't know if Hyrule Warriors was the new standard, but it's a good baseline to see how many characters we could possibly get. They have confirmed that archers, magic users, and even cavaliers will be available to use, and the cavaliers will always fight on a horse. They're designed to have high mobility. And while Koei Tecmo isn't sharing details on the world yet, there is a shield of fire in this world that has turned up from beyond space and time. So this is likely our excuse to have characters from all over Fire Emblem, or at least those 3 games, show up within Fire Emblem Warriors. And finally, there are bond conversations instead of support conversations. And there's a huge amount of text, including serious conversations as well as goofy ones. So this all sounds pretty good overall. The biggest disappointment, of course, is the lack of character variety when it comes to the entire series. But again, we sort of expected that because that's just the way it's been. These are the more popular characters at the moment, and they're the ones that are going to get that big push. But it's good to see that at least we'll see each of the classes represented. We'll be able to use them and use strategies for as far as what other kind of enemies we're fighting and changing up our tactics based on that. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see more. Hopefully it'll be playable at E3, and we'll definitely check it out there if it is. But until then, what do you guys think about these new revelations of Fire Emblem Warriors? Let us know in the comments, and of course be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Fire Emblem and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye.